Welcome to another episode of Me and My Friends Podcast, a black man's perspective. We have some great topics for you and some great guests. This is our NFL recap week number 4, or is it 3? 3. Introduce yourself. James, you can go first.
I know this is James from Fort Myers, Florida. Was on last week, and we had a great topic last week, and I can't wait till we get started with this NFL topic this week.
David, you want to go?
Yeah, David from Northern Virginia. Happy to be back on the podcast.
Will Cannon from upstate New York, Rochester, New York. It's cold. Ready to go.
All right, there's some interesting games this week. 3 teams that lost that people didn't expect them to lose, and the way they lost was the Arizona Cardinals was blown out by the Bills, Steelers was blown out by the Eagles, and the Jets imploded with your boy Ryan Fitzpatrick having a career-high 6 picks. Who had the worst loss on Sunday, and how do you think it will go forward with that team?
Cardinals. Cardinals by far had the worst loss. I don't know what they was thinking going up against Buffalo like that with that game plan, because they're not hurt. They're running the ball well. They just had a bad game plan going into that game. Going forward, I think the Cardinals will be fine. I think that, with Carson Palmer back there and Larry Fitzgerald and John Brown and Floyd with Johnson in the backfield, they'll be fine. That defense is solid. They have nothing to worry about. The Steelers, I knew from the beginning that the Eagles was going to beat the Steelers.
It's the Eagles fan.
I've been saying this since preseason, before preseason, that Carson Wentz is the man. He knows how to read defenses. He knows he was in a pro-ready offense since college. He goes through his progressions. He audibles at the line. I was not surprised. It didn't surprise me not one bit that he beat the Steelers. In fact, I bet my cousin that the Eagles would beat the Steelers. Okay?
Yeah, that's accurate.
So I was not surprised at the Steelers whatsoever. I was surprised how much they beat them by. I said 27-10, but it was 34-3. They stole one of my touchdowns. It's fine. Now the Jets are a wishy-washy team. They have a great defense. Good defense, I want to say. But the offense, now that Decker's hurt and Fitzpatrick is always wishy-washy, they need to just give it to Forte. Just give the ball to Forte.
Okay. Well, how do you feel?
Well, I gotta agree, and mine is definitely the Cardinals. I do agree that they'll figure it out. But 1 and 2. I mean, I'm from upstate New York, of course. I was hoping the Bills won, but I knew the Bills would lose. There's only one problem: that didn't happen. So, that was totally surprising. It wasn't even giving the Bills a game because they were playing in Buffalo. To me, after the Cardinals last week, I'm like, okay, they got to win. Actually, they won last week, but they got to win, and to lose to the Bills, by that score. I mean, if you're gonna lose to the Bills, it's got to be 25-24. But to lose to the Bills to that score, they got problems. But like what was stated earlier, they're the Cardinals. We're going into week 4. I think they'll figure it out. The only problem is I think they play the Rams next week. So going up against that D is going to be interesting.
We have to call David back in. His call dropped, but I'll answer the question. The worst loss to me, and I'm gonna explain this to you why. The worst loss was the Jets.
The Jets.
And I'm gonna explain to you why. You ready?
Okay.
The Jets have no one else. They paid Ryan Fitzpatrick $12 million.
Exactly.
And have nowhere else to go. The Jets, their whole season is on his shoulders. They had the opportunity to either put him in second stream or cut him and trade him over the offseason. The offseason started because he gave away 3 interceptions in the fourth quarter to the Bills last year.
Yep.
All they had to do was win one game against the Bills last season, and they would have been in the playoffs. They lost both based on him. And he
They beat the
held
Bills
out.
this year, though.
Right, and he held out, And now the defense can do only what? They only can do what assist the offense. The offense is not as good as it was last year. Obviously, they have injuries. They don't run the ball well, and he's just inconsistent.
What?
He's
the Jets don't run the ball well. The Jets don't run the ball well.
Name the 2 running backs the Jets had.
Matt Forte.
Matt Forte, the dude from Chicago. The dude from Chicago.
He had 3 touchdowns against the Bills.
The dude from Chicago. He had 3 touchdowns, like a 1-yard fight. Everybody had 3 touchdowns. The dude.
Matt Forte is a beast inside the paint and out, inside the numbers and outside the numbers.
Chicago should have paid him years ago. He was great years ago. To me, he's not that same guy.
Yeah.
Okay, he's gonna have a 1,000-yard season.
Forte
will have a 1,000-yard season.
To me, it's the Jets. I don't expect the Jets to change. Even if he has 1,000 yards, rushing. The way running backs are now with these offensive lines, you really should be striving for 1,500, 1,700. You shouldn't be striving for 1,000. This is gone are the years of 1,000. Like 1,000 means nothing. Quarterbacks get 1,000 now.
What?
So, Cam Newton has 1,000.
Okay, Cam Newton is an exception to the rule.
If Russell Wilson actually runs like he should, when he's able to run, he would have 1,000. If Kaepernick starts literally in 2 weeks, he would have 1,000. And he would only play 10 games.
That's
so
right. These quarterbacks start running, they're going to see how hard these NFL linebackers and these safeties hits.
Well, they changed the rule. The rules changed because of the whole Kaepernick Super Bowl situation. Remember, you couldn't hit the Super Bowl, then they said, oh, well, now Kaepernick, if you give the option that you're going to run it, you can get pelted at the end even though you don't have the ball. They changed the whole rule to hit those option type, quarterbacks. Him, RG3, but it was mainly him. But at the time, it was him, RG3. Russell was running some little stuff like that. But I'm telling you, I think the Jets are done. Because even if they win games here and there, they have to rely on Ryan Fitzpatrick. And to me, he's nothing but Jay Cutler.
Well, the Jets, they do have a hard schedule. They play the Seahawks, the Steelers, the Cardinals, the Ravens, the Browns, the Dolphins,
Patriots,
the Rams,
and
the Patriots, and the Colts.
Right. All that's like back-to-back.
The Patriots and the Bills.
7 wins.
Done.
David, how do you feel?
For me, I think it was the Jets, just because that was the only game that was interconference. So those two are the same conference. So that has playoff implications. The other reason is, the Jets, their division leader has the best record. New England has 3-0. I think everybody else, they're what's his name? The Ravens are 3-0 too, but I think the Jets are further back than anybody else. So they're 2 games, or 1 game back. Because of the Cardinals, only 1 game back. So the Jets are now 2 games back, and they lost inside their conference with them. I think they also got the worst quarterback of the 3, and you don't want to see if your quarterback play that bad. When you throw 6 interceptions, that's a bad sign. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the New York Jets. That's just me.
New York Jets.
Great minds think alike, David. Thank you. It's the Jets.
Split decision.
The next point, San Francisco 49ers have struggled offensively this year. A lot of people have called for Chip Kelly to make a change. He came out and said that Kaepernick had a few surgeries in the offseason, lost a few pounds because he couldn't train, and he hasn't been able to get in physical shape, even though he may know the plays. He's not physically able to run the offense, his words. Would that matter if you were Chip Kelly? Chip Kelly, to me, has to do well this season. Philadelphia Eagles, he blew up the team. It was all blamed on him because it was his fault. He traded players that people thought he shouldn't have traded. He fell out with players that people thought he shouldn't have fell out with. Do you feel like he should put the team's vision over his personal opinion of him not being physically healthy when it comes to weight? Dave, do you want to go? David? Or Will? Anybody can go.
Oh, I'll go.
Go ahead.
So Chip Kelly, we shouldn't even talk about Colin Kaepernick starting. We should talk about whether Chip Kelly should still be the coach.
Thank you.
In the NFL. Okay?
Set it off.
Chip Kelly is the biggest idiot that ever coached in NFL since Rich Kotite. You know, if y'all can remember that.
Boy. Going way back. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the way Chip Kelly runs his offense is a very college-style type of offense that's easily figured out. I mean, easily. I mean, he uses cartoon characters and Superman signs for plays. You know, it's ridiculous.
Wow.
He thinks that whatever he's like the almighty power in that locker room, and whatever you say is irrelevant because he thinks he knows it all. If you have somebody who thinks they know it all, that means they know nothing because they're not willing to learn. They're not willing to progress. And that's what Chip Kelly is. See, Chip Kelly is used to teaching boys, but when he gets into a group of men, he finds out that he's a small man among a whole bunch of men. You know?
Oh boy.
And when he got to the Philadelphia Eagles, he started off really hot because no one really knew where he was. In college, he still ran the same plays. No one, could figure it out. But when you get to a whole bunch of geniuses, a whole bunch of people, they're going to figure you out. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again with the same result. And that's what he does. He does the same thing over and over again with the same result. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a biased opinion from James. But anyway, because he's an Eagles fan. But no, I agree with you, though. Well, how do you feel? Do you think he should start, or whether he thinks he should be the coach?
Yeah, I mean, that was he laid it out. That was James talking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. I felt the bias and the hate, but that's okay. It's not like you weren't telling the truth. Here's my thought. I mean, the only thing I think you really laid it out there that, why Chip, if he wants to win, he's going to have to go back. Because I just touched on what you said. The bottom line is, see, with the Oregon offense, you knew what they were running. It wasn't any secrets. But the physicality, there's a difference in the physicality and the skill set of NFL players, And you see what happened several times, like when Oregon played, Auburn in that championship, right? When Oregon plays SEC teams, which basically is like playing NFL teams, right? Half the team's going to make the NFL, right? So, if you need to know what Chip Kelly can and cannot do, just look at what happens when Oregon Ducks in its history have played the SEC or other big conferences. They shut it down. So why would anyone think that he's going to be able to take, if he can't even dominate the best college teams, how's he going to take that same offense against NFL players? The only reason it works in the Pac-10 is because the Pac-10 is not the Big Ten or SEC. They don't have the physicality. So you can know what's coming and still can't stop it. Well, how did it work out in Eagles? So whether I will side with Chip Kelly on one thing, and I'm indifferent about this, maybe he knows something we don't know. Maybe he knows that Colin Kaepernick cannot get through the workouts. I give him that, just the physicality part. Maybe he knows something we don't know. Based on what I'm seeing from Blaine Gabbert, passer rating 68.6, 3 interceptions, 3 touchdowns, 3 games, 532 yards. Based on what I'm seeing, I'm going to start Kaepernick, but I will give the nod to maybe he knows something about Colin Kaepernick's physicality because, maybe Colin's a vegetarian now. Colin's going through some things. All right.
David, how do you feel? Do you think Chip Kelly should start Kaepernick while Blaine Gabbert
no.
struggled?
Kaepernick himself said that he's not ready to play because his weight's not where it was. He said that basically he's vegan now, and I think some other players said that they went vegan or vegetarian, and they had to go back to eat meat just for the protein.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
just this week that was said.
I do think, he probably should, if he wants to play, go back to eating meat or find a way to increase his protein to get his weight up. Because, Will was saying, the physicality of the NFL means you have to play at a certain weight. But I do think Kaepernick is the best option. I am concerned. I mean, I think this is actually the best offense for him because, Will was saying, I think the simplicity of the offense will benefit him just because I know people were saying Kaepernick had issues with, knowing the offense, reading defenses, and things of that nature. Plus, it has an option feature for him. But realistically, I think the NFL wants Kaepernick to play as soon as possible. He's really the story of the year.
Right.
With the whole standing for the anthem. So I think he will play at some point in the year. I also think San Francisco, the team as a whole, is not as good. They're still rebuilding. They lost a lot of players from retirement, or like they went to other teams from that Jim Harbaugh squad that went to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So they're a team in flux. I don't think as a team they're good enough to really do anything. But, I think people want to see Colin Kaepernick play because of all the other stuff, myself included. So, I don't think he should play yet, but I do think hopefully later on that he will, and something I think that we all want to see.
Right.
What do you think, Jarrell?
I agree with that. I'm going to give Chip a pass. You know why? Because it's week 3. We're going to week 4. This is the issue. I think he knows eventually, not only like you said, David, the league wants to see Kaepernick play, but also you don't want to start a quarterback controversy, but also if you use Kaepernick, that's all you have. You have to use him, and hopefully he does well. Because if you go back to Blaine, your season is essentially over. Because, Kaepernick's not getting the job done. You're back to square one. You're paying a guy $11 million to ride the bench. That's essentially what you're doing. And it's a different than an IG3 situation. IG3, they said, wasn't healthy, and we knew IG3 was getting rushed out of town. Chip Kelly has no quarterback at all, according to him. Because he won, Blaine is not doing a great job, Kaepernick's not healthy. According to him, he has no one. So if you have one that you know does not work, and the other guy, once you give him the reins, he has to ride out the whole season. You can't flip-flop and go Monday, we don't know. You can't do that. In this situation, specifically for Chip Kelly, because he has so much controversy in Philadelphia with different quarterbacks, different receivers, he had ruined DeMarco Murray's career for that year. He paid him all that money, didn't play him. Then when they played him, run all these crazy plays. He gotta run a clean ship this year. He gonna have to run a no mistakes as a coach. He can't go back. So he needs to say, Blaine is not doing good in week 5. We go in another direction. The last so many games will be Kaepernick's job, no matter what.
There was one thing I disagree with, which was the idea that with the Chip Kelly as a football coach. I think he is a terrible manager of people. We saw that firsthand. He won a certain type of personality.
Right.
He couldn't get along with not just the players, just the regular support staff, the owners, the GM. Like Jeffrey Lloyd, Eagles owner had beef with him. Howie Roseman, the GM, had beef with him.
Scouts.
So he had terrible people skills. But I think as a offensive mind, he is good. To me, his offense works when you have the players.
Right.
When they had Deshaun Jackson and LaShawn McCoy, and they had those offensive linemen, the offense produced. Even when Deshaun left and they put Jerry Maclin in his place, he had 2 10-win seasons. The offense always worked. So when it failed because he got rid of all the players. He got rid of Deshaun, LaShawn, Maclin. He got rid of, another offensive lineman.
Todd Harriman.
He got rid of
Evans.
Evan Mathis, and he got rid of Nick Foles as quarterback. So he got rid of literally 5 Pro Bowlers, half of his offense that made the Pro Bowl. He got rid of it and says, my system is superior, and I don't need these players. But when he had the players, the offense worked. Nick Foles had 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in that offense. So, I agree that his team lost in Oregon because they didn't have the physicality, but his schemes, to me, when I watch them, they work. That was my opinion of him.
And I don't even know where Nick Foles has a job at.
Kansas City.
He's in Kansas City. He's a backup.
There's
back with Andy Reid.
There's my point. The point is you got to have some type of talent. Chip is playing with house money. To me, he can't make no mistakes because he's on a short list in San Francisco. San Francisco,
You know what? When he drafts all those Oregon Ducks and trades for all those Oregon Ducks that he tries to get and put on his team, you can see how well he is.
short list, man. But
Chip is not picking the players out there in San Francisco.
Did he get Buckner? Whoa. Did he get Buckner?
New York is.
Yeah. I agree with that.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't think he's the main guy doing it, but I think they'll give him, in my opinion, 2 years, which to me is a short lease in the NFL because most of the time he gets 3.
Right.
But yeah, I agree with that.
That was a great discussion on that. 3 players got injured Sunday. Well-named players, anyway. Prominent players. J.J. Watt has been placed on IR. He's been out for at least 8 weeks. Dez Bryant is day-to-day, week-to-week. The rumor is he'll be out at least 3 weeks. Russell Wilson is day-to-day, week-to-week. The rumor is they will be cautious with him, and he'll be out a few weeks. Who's the more important player to their team? J.J. Watt for Houston, Dez Bryant for Dallas, or Russell Wilson for Seattle? Will, you can start.
For me, without question, it's Russell Wilson, and it's simply because of what he means to that team. If I contrast that with, and I think what the individual means to the team and the expectations. J.J. Watts, I mean, I don't even think the Texans are going to the playoffs with or without him. And we know there's no chance of any contending for a title. As I move on to the Cowboys, I think that there's enough talent in that team. You got the quarterback, Dak Prescott, playing phenomenal. You got the running back, Elliott, playing, not phenomenal, but, last week was, we're getting there. And I think you still got Winton and you still got Terrence Williams. He just needs to know what how much time is on the clock. That'd be a good start for him in his career.
Right.
Other than that, he's a decent player. But Dak Prescott, my point is, he's a smart enough quarterback to find the open man. Of course, you can never replace someone like Dez Bryant. But when you got a quarterback with that kind of IQ, you're going to be okay. He's going to find the open man. And then you contrast that finally with Russell Wilson. Without Russell Wilson, what do you got? Marshawn Lynch is gone. You got, iffy, Jimmy Graham, not totally consistent. So without Russell Wilson versus those other losses, it's a game changer. I mean, this is a team this team's not trying to get to the playoffs. Seattle's trying to win another championship. And I think that without Russell, that's it.
Yeah, I agree. James, you can go.
Okay. I think the biggest loss is actually J.J. Watt, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. With Russell I think Seattle is lost without Russell Wilson, but I think Houston as a whole, I think Houston is a playoff team. If you look at Houston division, there's the Titans, there's the Colts, and the Jaguars. Right now, Texans are at the top of the division at 1-2. I think they can take that division, and they will be a playoff team. But without J.J. Watt leading that team, I do not see them winning the playoffs. Because who else got in their defense to lead them? Javion Clowney?
Trash.
He's gonna get hurt.
Clown.
Week 6.
Clown.
Yeah, Clown is exactly in his name. I think the Houston Texans are a great up-and-coming team with the additions of Will Fuller and Hopkins playing at exceptional levels. Will Fuller is also from Roman Catholic, by the way, my old high school. So I am kind of partial to the Texans.
Okay.
Also, the defense. I mean, it just does not. You can't have another J.J. Watt out there. J.J. Watt is the heart and soul of that Texans team. And it's rare to see a defensive end be that type of player. Now, on the flip side, you have Russell Westbrook. I mean, I'm not Russell Westbrook, but Russell Wilson.
Plenty of people do that. They work CSP and they do it, so it's all right.
It's almost NBA season. You're okay. It's almost NBA season. 30 days left. Keep going.
I can't wait. So you have Russell Wilson out there playing for Seattle, and I do agree with Will. Who else do you have left? Without Russell Wilson, that team is just defense waiting to collapse because they cannot move that ball on offense without Russell Wilson. The receivers are subpar. The running back, Christine Michael, is just
PJ Rawls.
terrible. Well, Rawls is hurt.
I don't even know who
Rawls
those
is
guys
hurt.
are.
Yeah.
They sound trash to me. I don't know those guys. I don't know those guys.
Rawls is okay. He's no Marshawn Lynch, but he's
Nah,
okay.
He's okay. And Christine Michael, he got cut by the Cowboys. You know what I mean? Jesus. Now, I am very impressed with Dak Prescott. The way,
boy.
The way he surprised me by how well he's picking up reading the defenses, how he, how he's now starting to call audibles. Hey, he didn't do that week one. Week one, he wasn't calling audibles. He wasn't seeing the field the way he was. Now, week three, I saw him looking off the safeties. I saw him adjusting, at the line, shifting the coverages. I see that in him. But with Dez Bryant down, there's no talent at that wide receiver. Who's he going to throw it to? Terrence Williams? Please. He's going to fumble the ball every time. And little Cole Beasley's going to give another concussion. So he's going to have to open up with the run to open up the pass. And right now, you have a rookie back there who is starting over somebody who should be starting in Morris. Morris should be starting over Elliott because Elliott's going to fumble. He's not reading his cutbacks right. So I think the biggest loss is J.J. Watt.
Okay. David, how do you feel?
Yeah, for me, it is in this order. Who has the biggest loss? Seattle with Russell Wilson, Houston with J.J. Watt, Dallas with Dez Bryant. And I say that because it's the nature of the NFL. It's a passing league, and the quarterback he literally has his hands on the ball on every offensive possession,
Every play.
every single play. So I think you got to go quarterback, especially when you have a Pro Bowl, Super Bowl winning quarterback. When you have a elite quarterback, like a top 5 quarterback or top 3, whatever you think he is, you can basically, and you get the pieces around him, you can win the Super Bowl every year. To me, it's got to be Russell Wilson. Next, I would go J.J. Watt, just because Houston has proven that as of just last year, that they can at least get to the playoffs with defense. I think their defense starts. When we talk about Houston Texans with J.J. Watt and the havoc that he calls. He needs 2 people to block him, and sometimes even then he'll still get 20 sacks a season. He just wreaks havoc, and he makes things easier for everyone else on defense. And if they're missing him, to me, they don't have a shot at making the playoffs. I didn't think the Cowboys are making the playoffs even with Dez Bryant. I think the Eagles and Giants are better than them. And even when Romo was out last year and Dez was in, they were still losing. And even saying that Dez is still probably the best player in the Cowboys. But, I think that the Cowboys, while they'll miss them, I think that, they're not making the playoffs. Their defense is way too bad to make the playoffs from what I saw. So it's really just for fantasy people getting hurt with that one. So that's my take on that. What do you think, Jarrell?
Speaking of fantasy people, Dez Bryant was on my fantasy team this morning. I traded him, and they just put on the ESPN. He's out 4 to 6 weeks. Shout out Jarrell Johnson. GM Johnson is here for all your football needs. I knew he was hurt. I watched the game. He could barely walk. There's no way he was running. This is why Dez Bryant is the biggest injury to that team. Because the only way these other guys get single coverage is because of Dez Bryant. Even when he was hurt, he was getting double teamed on Sunday. He was double teamed on a touchdown that he got in that fourth quarter. The only way to help the rookie out is to know Jason Witten's going to be single coverage. Cole Beasley, single coverage. Terrence Williams, single coverage. I know that I can put 4 wide receivers and Jason Witten out there, and I know I can run the ball with Elliott because you can't stack the box. Now, who you double team?
Okay.
There's no need to double team Cole Beasley. He's not going nowhere. There's no need to double team Terrence Williams. You don't really have to double team Jason Witten. You could just put somebody bigger on him and have him play under him so that Dak will have to throw it over. None that can stack the box. This is going to mess up their offense. this is going to mess up their offense. Not to say they're going to lose, it's going to tank their season, but it's going to mess up their offense because these 3 games, offensively, they've been fun. They haven't had a lot of turnovers. Elliott fumbled twice, but not no real issues when it comes to pass protection and different. And the guys have been running wide open. This will throw that off when you have Dez not out there, because even if he's out there, you have to respect his speed. He's the long guy. He allows the guys underneath to get open.
Okay, so who do you think wins this Sunday, Dallas or San Francisco?
They play each other?
Oh, yeah, they play this Sunday.
Dallas is going to win because San Francisco has nothing. To me, any team, you have to have something to lay your head on. I need to say my defense is good.
Or defense.
My offense is good. Yeah, I need to say I have something, right? Dallas has enough offense to beat half the teams in the league.
You just said Dallas don't have offense without Dez Bryant.
No, I said they don't have the offense that they've had the last 3 weeks is not going to look the same. But San Francisco is trash. We've already just established they're trash. Blaine Gilbert and
San Francisco shut out the Rams 30.
The Rams are trash.
They're nothing. The Rams are not trash.
Oh, Jeff Fisher's the coach.
They only got defense, right?
Jeff Fisher's the coach. Any team that's coached by Jeff Fisher is trash.
You said to Tavon Austin and Todd Gurley.
This is a proven fact. Any team that's coached by Jeff Fisher. I'm a Bills fan, so I know. Like, I've dealt with Tennessee Titans for like literally decades. Jeff Fisher should not be in the league. This man, we don't even remember the last time the Rams have had a good season. Why is Jeff Fisher?
Or the Titans with him again.
And this is why the deeper issue with the Rams, right? This is what the Rams organization, the GM and the president, this is what they're saying. We're holding on to this guy who we drafted really, really high. We gave away half the team for this guy. And they say this guy cannot even run a snap. He can't take a ball to center snap. This guy is in sweats, not even suited up. Then he's suited up, and they has a clipboard. They know he's not getting in the game. Then you got this guy who say, we're going to start this guy, and we're going to play solid defense behind him, but we're gearing him up. This is going to be our quarterback for the future. The future is now. You just moved. All your actions say that the future is now. Because if any one of us buy a house, one of us get married, the future's now, right? You don't say, well, I'm gonna just buy a house and I'm gonna cut the grass next year. That's not how that works. So, to me, the Rams, the future is now. So they need to act like that. If you're gonna pay this guy all this money to hold a clipboard, I can hold a clipboard for free. So,
Jared Goff is not ready to take a snap in the NFL. I can tell you right now. Jared Goff, even in college, had a hard time reading defense. Everybody say he was pro ready. Jared Goff was never pro ready. Never. And the fact that he went number 1 overall was ridiculous. He was no better than Cooks or Lynch. And you see where Cooks and Lynch are, not starting.
Right. And they moved up to get him. And then, to me,
they're idiots.
They're not even. We're calling Will back, and his phone dropped. To me, they're not explaining what's going on. I'm like,
he can't read defenses. You saw him in preseason. Jared Goff cannot read D. He's not. He will fumble. He will collapse underneath the pressure. You can't. I'm telling you, 49ers beat the Cowboys 24-10.
Oh boy.
24-14. 24-14.
What does the San Francisco have?
What do they have? Offensively,
I need a description for that score. I need a breakdown.
I don't even know who's running back. Who's running back?
Okay.
I just need to know how. They're going to get to that score.
I like Carlos Hyde.
Okay.
So their game plan for the Dallas Cowboys is to run the ball to open up the pass for them, because Dallas Cowboys have no D. They have no pass rush whatsoever.
I agree.
Okay. Their corners and their secondary are weak, except for Byron Jones. And what Byron Jones will do, Torrey Smith is going to burn out their whole secondary.
Torrey Smith from Ravens?
Yeah, Torrey Smith from Ravens. Lord Jesus. He plays for the
baseball.
Oh Lord. Which going to leave Jeremy Gurley. Which going to leave Curley over the middle for crossing routes. And they have another guy by the name of Vince McDonald, who's a tight end, who's a pretty good tight end that's flying the radar right now. Blaine Gabber's favorite target, with Carlos Hyde running the ball.
I can't
Dallas
trust San
defense is going to
Francisco,
suffer.
man. I can't do it, man.
I'm telling you.
Okay, what's the score you said? 24 to what?
24-14. 24-14.
Okay. I mean, the 49ers offense did show up once this season, so we're looking for a resurrection. Okay.
Their defense is pretty good. They're pretty good against bad teams. I can't say that because against good teams, they stink.
Well, Dallas offense is going to look different. But like I said, all they really have to do is
they're going to run the ball. They're going to have to.
Dallas got to run the ball, but the offense is going to look different. I don't think it's going to.
How? Because guess who's hurt? Their guard. Lionel Collins is hurt from Dallas Cowboys. So that means old Leary is going to be in there at guard, and you have half their line hurt.
That's to me. That's the best offensive line in the league. I don't care.
They're hurt.
Dak in the fourth quarter. Dak Prescott's jersey will be just as white as when you put it on. That dude's jersey be clean. So
Dak Prescott is going to hit the dirt this week because their lines. Fredericks is hurt. You have Collins is out. That means O'Leary's in, and you have Tyrone Smith that's hurt too with an ankle injury and a hamstring.
It's going to look different.
So you're saying Dak's going to get that first interception this week?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, career first. Man. All right.
Sunday, 4:25.
We can't take this from an Eagles fan, man. He's biased, man. This is crazy. This is biased.
This is not even. Look. My cousin is a diehard Cowboys fan, and we have this conversation every day. He's even said himself, Dallas is taking the L this week.
I think the Dallas would be 3-0 if it wasn't for that first game. But also, I just don't see them making mistakes. The offense is going to look different, but to me, it's only going to be effective if they play like division games are always tough, right? So I think any division game, any team with elite team, they're going to have issues without Dez. But until San Francisco shows me something different, I don't see that changing. But anyway, let's get out of here. One more thing. What do you look forward to in week 4? There's not a lot of big games. I mean, James wants to present that as a big game to us, but I don't think that's a big game. I'm not watching Thursday Night Football. The Dolphins and Bengals play the Colts and Jaguars, Titans and Texans, Browns and Redskins. It's a lot of sorry games. Jets and Seahawks, Bills and Patriots, Panthers, Falcons, Raiders, Ravens, Lions, Bears, Broncos, Bucks, Rams, Cardinals, Saints, Chargers. What do you look forward to? Chiefs, Steelers, Monday night. No, Sunday night. Giants, Vikings, Monday night. What do you look forward to this week?
For me, it's got to be that New England game. I want to see if Bill Belichick can win with a 4th-string quarterback.
Who is the quarterback? Let's start there.
No one knows. I mean, we could get Julian Edmond. We could get someone else. Because if Bill Belichick wins with a 4th-string quarterback, I'm done.
I got my resume in, so we'll see if I'm starting.
That's a good one. I like that. But I'm actually looking forward to the Chiefs-Steelers game. I want to see Le'Veon Bell, his first game back, and how many touchdowns he's going to score.
He got suspended for the weed, right? Or the drugs. Or what?
Right, yeah. Same thing.
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought it was 4 games. He had 3 games.
He had 3 games. He appealed and it got reduced from 4 to 3.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. That's interesting. Will, how do you feel?
I'm interested to know whether Jameis Winston plans to show up this weekend.
Wow. Good one.
Not against Denver.
Yeah, and I'm also interested if he can somehow bribe Doug Martin to play, because maybe if Doug Martin plays, he can actually stand a chance. So I'm trying to figure out who's the most important person. I'm trying to figure out who's the MVP of this team, Jameis Winston or Doug Martin. I'm kind of leaning towards Doug Martin for right now. And the other thing is I'd like to know in the same division, do the Saints plan to show up this season too?
Drew Brees said, I got my money, I'm out of here.
No.
The problem with the Saints is the Saints have done this for the last 4 years. Give all the money to Drew Brees and let the bums be the bums. The defense is trash.
Yeah.
We can't even name any of the running backs that are decent. They don't run the ball. They throw the ball all the time. And they wonder why they're trash. Like, are y'all surprised? Right. Who was surprised? I'm not surprised the Saints are trash. You keep giving this man a raise, and he's about 40. What do you keep giving Drew Brees a raise for? When you have nobody on defense, then you say, oh, it's a defensive coordinator. They put it all on Rob Ryan, which I know Rob Ryan is trash. But now what do you say? Rob Ryan not there. You got the same guys getting burnt every single game. That is a problem. That is a problem. You know what I look forward to? The Panthers went to the Super Bowl, and now they saying, I don't know what they're doing. Because the Panthers' big thing last year is they scored points, but they were like, oh, we missed Benjamin. Benjamin is there, and they're still losing games. How are they losing games? Cam is not looking like the same Cam. I don't know what's going on.
Offensive line.
They lost 2 games. They lost to the Broncos. And they lost the Vikings.
Right.
2 excellent defenses. I mean, like NFL tops.
They lost to Sam Bradford.
No, they lost to the Vikings defense. They didn't lose to Sam Bradford, trust me.
Sam Bradford
lost to the Vikings defense. Did you see the way they knocked him around that game? Yeah. The safeties, they lost to the defense. Forget Sam Bradford.
So they play the Falcons this week, so they should blow the Falcons out. To me, they got to. This is the Super Bowl team. Nothing changed, and they got better. They got a better player. They got Benjamin back. It should be no excuses they don't drop 30 points every game, 25 points every game.
Didn't the Panthers just blow, what you call them out?
The Falcons blew the Saints out.
Yeah, but the Panthers just blew somebody out.
Must have been week 2.
I forgot who the Panthers played in week 2.
Week 2.
I'm about to tell you who they played.
49ers.
The team that James thinks is going to go to the Super Bowl. And you think you think they about to beat them?
49ers came back on Carolina.
I know they did.
Yeah, he's right. Carolina's been struggling.
Yeah. Carolina, they
Even
got some problems. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know what's going on, but they got some serious problems. They got to figure it out because y'all supposed to contend for a title. They have
no running back.
Y'all right.
Stupart's out. They have Whitaker in there right now.
But with Benjamin, that should alleviate all that. Benjamin is a tag team threat. So people double team him. So the other guys should be one-on-one coverage.
Yeah, but if you have no running game, you expect to pass. You're not going to. You're going to send 4 guys every time.
Cam Newton was the running game.
What?
He was the running game last season.
Okay. He ain't the running game this season.
Right. So I'm like, so they got. That's the only thing I look for. Like they got to figure it out. If y'all want to compete for a title, y'all got to figure this out now. Don't wait till week 10. Don't wait till week 9, 8. They got to figure it out. Week 3, week 4. I mean, they losing games that they should win. The first game I give them a pass for.
Who's your Super Bowl team?
Well, before last season, before last week, I said, Pittsburgh or something like that? And it was, Pittsburgh got
So wait a minute. The Falcons are in first place, aren't they?
Falcons are in first place. They're tied for first place.
Yeah, because they're 2-1.
Right. But the Falcons are trash. Even though I live in Atlanta, Falcons are trash. Falcons are good for the regular season, and then Matt Ryan starts to throw picks, and then the city, turns on him. And then the city says, oh, whatever. But, I mean, it's good for the city. I love it for the city. And also, to me, the Falcons are like the Bengals. They win enough games to get to the playoffs, and then they just, fizzle out. You don't expect them to win the championship. You don't expect them to go to the Super Bowl. You just, as long as they win enough games to get to the playoffs, we're happy. And I think that's what the city wants. We're happy. They have a new stadium next year. I think we're good.
Okay.
Yeah. So who you? And I'll say one last thing. When you get a chance, take a look at the. Go ahead.
No, go.
Take a look at the Panthers' schedule from last year. If you recall, it was a pretty light load, and I'm just wondering if they run into a couple of defenses early in the season and they're being exposed.
Yeah.
That's a good point, Will. Who are you?
Yeah, I took a look at it earlier, but when you get a chance, look at their schedule from last year. It was pretty light.
And Josh Norman's not there.
Sometimes you find in the NFL that a team will have a great record, and then the next year they got a difficult schedule. You wonder what happened. Sometimes, just like Denver Broncos Super Bowl. Sometimes they get exposed when you run up against a really good defense.
Yeah, and Josh Norman's not there, and he's obviously a great corner.
Josh Norman.
So he's gonna mess up something on that defense. Obviously, Redskins fans don't know what he did for the freaking Panthers because he ain't doing what he need to be doing for them.
He ain't doing over there.
Right. So I don't really know, but I don't know. I just think they got to figure it out.
Yeah. All right. So Rel. So last week you had picks for the Super Bowl. Have they changed?
Well, yes, because I think one of my teams was Pittsburgh, right? And Pittsburgh, they got to figure out what's going on with them too. Now the running back will help, but the game I watched like 3 drives to Pittsburgh. Big Ben could have literally 3 picks every drive because he throws the ball up when he's getting tackled, guys hanging at his feet. He just throws it up, and guys can't catch. So literally, Big Ben should have numerous picks. He already has like 3 or 4. Big Ben can easily have 3 picks a game, but because those wide receivers are super talented, he doesn't.
Whoa, you said plural wide receivers?
They got what's the dude that was twerking? Antonio Brown?
That's it.
And the tight, well, not wide receiver, but the tight end?
Who?
What's the white boy name? He's still there?
Jesse James?
Who? No.
He's about Miller?
Miller. He's not.
No, he's in Chicago.
Oh, well, there we go. I thought they had 2. Well, I only know Antonio Brown. Well, they got someone else.
You guys already did Super Bowl picks?
We touched on it last week, but you can go ahead and put one of my picks was Pittsburgh, but they got blown out.
I'm going to Denver Broncos. Believe it or not, I'm sticking with them. Denver Broncos, same great defense, and the reason why it's Trevor Siemian, second-year player, and the reason I'm going with them is you didn't need much from Peyton Manning last year, and they still won. And I believe Trevor Siemian has a little bit more in the tank than Peyton Manning did. And I believe that I believe the Denver Broncos, brand new quarterback, will repeat this year.
And they're doing this without DeMarcus Ware. He's out like 6 weeks or 4 weeks. He got hurt in week 2. So
Mine's changed. Mine is going to be a PA Super Bowl.
Oh, here he go, man. Come on, man.
Okay, I'm writing it down.
Eagles fan cannot be biased. Man. You say Eagles and who? Pittsburgh? Eagles. Don't say Cincinnati. Eagles and who?
Eagles and Steelers Super Bowl.
Oh, here you go.
Oh, Lord. I'm just wondering how the Eagles going to get there. Are they buying tickets or busing it or train? How they get there?
We're going to ride the Carson train all the way there.
Oh, Jesus. Wow. Eagles.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, I'd say originally I had picked Kansas City and Green Bay. That was my before the year pick. I think that's still good. But if I could redo my pick, I would go New England and Philadelphia rematch 2004.
There you go.
That's definitely a little bit of homerism, but the Eagles look like that they're right up there with the best teams in the conference. So why not us? Why not the rookie? Like this guy. Every time we say he can't do something, he proves us wrong. So why can't he go win playoff games to go to the Super Bowl? I think exactly. Well, he won a second year. Wilson did go to the playoffs his first year, and they beat RG3 to get a playoff win. But every time you say he can't do something, he does it. I think he's got something to prove with the whole "you're from North Dakota" thing. The coach, I think, got something to prove because everyone in Philadelphia knows Doug Peterson as that backup who stinks. And he was a guy who stunk for 10 games before Donovan McNabb got in. So, these guys, they're hungry, man. So,
yeah, Frank
Wright. Why not?
Flip.
I'm gonna throw y'all a bone. You ready? The defensive coordinator for the Eagles is my guy. That's
Jim Schwartz.
Jim Schwartz. That's the only reason I think I like
Detroit.
The anything about the Eagles is because I think he got a bad shake in Detroit, and then he came to the Bills, and the Bills had 49 sacks that year.
Rex Ryan
fired him.
Yes.
Right. Rex Ryan fired him. So to me, he is one of the best underrated defensive coordinators in this league.
I agree.
Because he goes to different places, and he encourages guys to get after the quarterback, and also allows his guys in secondary to get picks and stuff like that. He schemes one of the best game plans every single week.
That's true.
So
yeah.
I don't know why he didn't do it when he was coaching my Lions. I guess maybe he doesn't watch
He
Lions.
did.
He did. Yeah,
What are you talking about?
All I can see is 0-16. My mind is just blinded. I can't see anything else.
Offense.
He came after that though. He built the team with Sue and Calvin Johnson.
No, he was there. He was there.
He wasn't there for 0-16.
He was the coach of that
team.
was. That's why he got fired.
No. That's Scott Linehan.
You gotta look it up.
Look it up. Jim Schwartz was hired after
I'm good.
0-16.
Look it up.
Okay.
Look it up. And I didn't tell y'all, Broncos versus Pats. I forgot the other team. Broncos versus Pats. I'm calling for a first-time ever Super Bowl remix. Broncos versus Pats. I didn't say the other team.
Okay.
2008 for Detroit. 0-16.
Yeah. Yeah, who's that coach?
Yeah, Jim Schwartz. Because I knew that was a big thing. Because
who's that coach?
Marinelli.
Yeah.
It wasn't Schwartz.
Oh, shoot! You're right.
What Jim's? I
knew he wasn't. I knew it wasn't Schwartz. I didn't know who it
Schwartz.
was.
He came the year after.
You're right. Schwartz probably won. I think 1 year he won like 2 or 3. It was low though.
Yeah, that first year they were bad, but he ended up building that team to a playoff team. He took them to a 10-win team.
They went to one playoff or two, 1 or 2. I think one or two.
His linebacker.
They went to one playoff.
One.
With their Tulloch and
they got aired out by the Saints
and Avery.
He just needed an offensive coordinator. That's all Schwartz needed, and he has that here in Philly.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's what I just heard Brandon Graham on the radio say. He says, look, the defense wants to play for Jim Schwartz because of how hard he works. He's crazy, as you saw with that whole blow with Jim Harbaugh, but they say they respect the work he puts in making his scheme, just like Jarrell was saying. Like, he's there all the time. And, yeah, I mean, I agree. He's underrated as a defensive coordinator. He's also a nutball, but you kind of need that, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Coaches like that, a lot of players like to play for certain coaches. That's why I don't think, they'll ever not have a job. Like the defensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos.
Wade Phillips.
Phillips.
That's the Texans now.
Yeah, that's who it is. It's Wade Phillips. He's an amazing defensive coordinator.
Romeo Cornell. There's guys that people love to play for. Even Jim Harbaugh in the first, year when he was there before.
Absolutely.
The stuff went downhill. People
Bill Cowher.
Yeah, right. So I'm like, people love to play for these coaches that are very opinionated but confident in these guys, and they say, "Listen, I'm just riding with my team no matter what." Mike Tomlin, literally, he's like, "I don't care who we're going against. I got y'all. We gonna fight this out together." So coaches like that, players love to play for them, man. Love to play for them. Anyway, that was a great podcast, great episode. See you all next week.